we are seeing comfortable oligarchs if you move a little bit further east. So we talked about the hybrid regimes, the low-hanging fruit. Yes, even if you apply the triage method, the first place you can go to assist democratic transitions are the hybrid states. Hybrid states happen to be Georgia, Moldova, Ukraine. Yesterday I attended this day-long Georgia conference in Washington, where the head of the Georgian Association in America said that over the past 25 years, we've spent approximately $3 billion on assisting Georgia's post-Soviet transition, presumably towards democracy. But here we are. Freedom House, here are the quotes that I have. Freedom House is reporting that in the hybrid states and beyond, in Central and Eastern Europe, we are now seeing this trend of informal leadership, individuals who happen to be running the show from behind the scenes. So if you consider Maia Otarashvili, who famously overthrew the increasingly authoritarian Saakashvili government in Georgia and became prime minister, he then stepped down just a couple of years later. This is not my opinion. He's been running the show ever since his Georgian Dream Coalition came into power in Georgia. What does that mean? Everyone in the party in the high-ranking positions actually work for his many companies. He's the richest man in Georgia, but also arguably in most of Eastern Europe. He's been known to appoint the prime ministers and appoint the different ministers and then remove them and then replace them. Just recently, he has decided to step back into the limelight, and he has now again become the chairman of the Georgian Dream Party, which again is the ruling party in Georgia. I should also point out that he's been able to pretty much turn Georgia into his backyard. So has a big affinity for ancient trees, digs them up, moves them to his property, purchases botanical gardens for a nominal $1. I mean, the list goes on and on, right? Then we have our Vlad Plahotniuk, who is a very similar character, but in Moldova. Again, another hybrid state. Plahotniuk is also a millionaire oligarch who lives in Moldova and is a chairman of the ruling party. He too has been known to run the show sort of above the level of his formal title. And then we have Poroshenko, Ukraine's president. He's not alone. Ukraine is much bigger than Georgia and Ukraine. So there is more than one oligarch in charge there, but Poroshenko is the fourth wealthiest man in Ukraine. And he has been recently making headlines for his unwillingness to form a meaningful anti-corruption body in Ukraine. And we are hearing now in the past year or two that Ukraine's reforms have seriously stalled, and we don't know how much democratic hope there is for Ukraine anymore. So again, what matters here is the idea that this has been happening for a while, but now that there is an alternative, there is no one really watching over their shoulders, right? Because America is too busy looking inwards. Europe is too busy looking at itself, dealing with the effects of Brexit or even the effects of all the Russian meddling that we've seen. So while that happens, these types of individuals just manage to consolidate the status quo and ease into this seemingly transitory position. So I think that is really alarming. Again, think about the years of gains and investments that we've made. I'm not saying let's run all of our democracy promotion programs at full force, but it may be worth protecting our investments in this region.